Hello, thank you for being here. This is actually the follow-up for the, I would consider the teach back I did last week on Thursday, where we learned how we can differentiate between data warehouse, data lake, data mart, operational database. We explain all of those terms, and now we'll put those terms into application with the same scenario we used the last time, which was the DoorDash scenario. Today we will learn how we can take data from the raw data from the database or the data lake to transform them into the data warehouse by using ETL, which is extract, transform, load system that can allow us to somehow clean and make sure everything is ready to report or analyze in the data warehouse. And what actually tool we'll be using to do that, we'll use SQL late in order for us to do that. Okay, now let's go quickly into our prompt and the DoorDash scenario. And students, you will create the raw data, which will be considered to be the operational database because that's where everything is happening. This is the raw record inside. And then after we inspect that data, we'll insert the data into the table we'll be creating with the first step, which will be the data, the operational database, and then we'll transform this with ETL, extract, transform, load, and then we'll at the end make the viewing of that table we will create based on the transformation. So this is all of the steps we'll be taking, and this is actually the table that we will be creating, as you can see here. Transform table into the data warehouse to be ready for reporting or analyzing. We good? Now let's go quickly to our software. As I said, we'll be using SQL late. SQL, this is actually one of the best tools you can use to not only to clean to when you have messy data, however, to do the transformation of it by using the ETL or ELT, and we're using ETL here. So the first thing here, first, create our database. We'll give a name for that database. You can call it SQL, SQL slash, what else we can put? We can put, for example, ETL, extract, transform, load, and then we can put coding. I may have this before, but let's see. And okay, let's see. Or we have it before, just say yes. We just want this one. And there will always be this window pop up. We don't need that window because we'll create our own table. So now we go to execute, and from the execute that where everything will start, we'll create the first step in our application. The first step is create the raw operational table, which will be an empty table with all of the items or column into it. So step one, always put step one, creating raw operational table. And then now, what code? We don't need this code here, just need without the code. Now, what will be the code we'll be using for this? We'll use create table as the code. Create table. And now we create the table. This is the code we are using. Now, what will be actually the name of that table? We can call it, for example, orders / raw. That's the name of the table we are currently creating. And now we create the table. We open up parentheses to activate. I will leave that table. Now we have to put all of the items, all of the columns. And the first columns is order. That's the first thing you do when you take your phone to order your food from DoorDash. You do the order, and we can consider this as being ID. And ID, order ID, it's actually a ratio interval scale from the scale of measurement. Therefore, it will be integer. And then integer, you can continue. Make sure after you put this, since you have, there will be like colon, you have multiple columns or items, you put comma. until the end, you will put that semicolon to close your table. Now, the second one, what will be the second one? We can add, for example, CD, and then CD what type of, I will consider what type of really scale of measurement. It can be text, or it is text because Tampa is text. Tampa, St. Pete, Brandon, they are all really text nominal scale. And we'll put your comma, and we're not continuing putting all of those things because we don't have a lot of time. So what we can do here, we can just go to actually prompt, and I make sure to have those code here for us. As you can see, that's the same thing we are doing, and we already do for CD text. We just copy the last part of it. Okay, we copy this, copy, and then go to SQL software and paste it. And here we go. We have all of the items or columns we need for our like table from order ID to customer rating. And then you can run it to make sure everything is okay. Execution finished without error. That means we're good here. Now, this is the first step in the process. We have 5 steps. Let's go for the second step. And we can put step. What will be the step for that? Step 2 will be inspect raw table. Okay, raw table to make sure everything is good here. So now, as we are inspecting, what will be, we can do select. That will be the code we'll be using, and we'll put text. That means we want all of the columns, and then from where it is from the table we just created. What's the name of that table? It's order dash raw. So, and then at the end we put semicolon to make sure we have everything ready. Now let's really want this to see everything okay. Yes, everything is okay. You have order ID, CD, order time, restaurant ready time, pickup time, delivered time, status, customer rating. This is all of the column you have for your table. This empty table we created. Now we have the empty table. We need to put stuff on that table. We put the value of that. This is the third step. The third step is that we put value into that table we just created, and we call it step 3. We can say like insert. Let's see really what's the name we provide here, so we can really be insert sample delivered. That's the name we provide here. We can just copy this to make it really like quicker, and we just go back to your SQL and put that name. Make it easy. Easy peasy. It's just for demonstration. And then now we have the name of our step 3. Now let's go now. What will be the code we'll be using for creating this? Like we can go when you really go to this. As you see, it's an insert into the name of that table and value. And we can just actually, you know what? Let's just, we know this is actually all to understand that part here. The insert into value, this is the value. When you see really 1001 here, what does that mean to us? That means this is the ID or the order ID. This is the CD as we had. Let me just copy and paste so you guys can have a visualization of what I'm talking about. Let's go to here now, and I can just make sure to paste it. And here we are. So when you see 001 here, and you know this is the order ID, which is integer really like. And when you see Tampa, that means the CD. Remember, it was text. And when so on, when you continue, you see 0. This is actually, make sure to understand why we have that date in this process, in this, I will consider order. We have the year, the month, the day, and the time. That means we are using a Julian day system. Julian day, this is a term we can use in SQL in data engineering. That means we are using firstly year after year, we're using the month after the month, use the day after the day, use the time. When you see 2026, 04 means that means that April, then 30th April, at 16:05. That means at 6 p.m. 5 minutes. Okay, so on and we can continue. And when there's nothing, and when they will like either will cancel the order and everything, we put no, and then at the end you put really your semicolon to make sure you close that order or that coding, and you know it's insert into the name of the table, which was order as well, and value. Now we can just run this to make sure everything is okay. Everything is good. Now we select it and then run the show. Yes, we run the show. It's the execution finished without errors. Excellent. So therefore, we are still in a good place regarding our work. Now we go for formally step 1 to step 2, from step 2 to step 3. Now we go into step 4. What will be the step 4? We have now the value into I will consider really like table. Now we want to make sure to do the transformation. That's the most important part for us right now. Step 4. That's where we will transform that table, that raw data we have right now, into the data lake. We'll use ETL, extract, transform, load, pipeline, in order for us to make sure this data is ready or already to be reported or to be analyzed. So now, what is actually the code we use for that? When you go here, you see, build the delivery table. This is the transformation. You guys, what you need to do, we'll do the same thing we did earlier with the create table, fact delivery, performance, as select. We put all of those things, and I can just really somehow copy this here, just so that you guys can understand what I'm talking about, and I can explain this if we need to do more explanation. We talk about Julian Day, as you can see, Julian Day, and I will be back. I will be coming back here to make sure everything that we are talking about are respected here. So here we are, create table. Let me just take this out. And to understand, build, this is the name of the step 4. We good? And after the name, this is the code we use, create table, as we did for the step 1. And that's the name of the table we are creating, which will be the transform table. The transform table is fact delivery performance. And as select, we have all of the items that we use in the first empty table that we created that. And then after we add all of the values, that makes it like an unstructured data set, which was actually the data lake. Now we are transforming that data lake with ETL into data warehouse. So now by doing this, we actually put round to make sure there is no, like at the end, there's not a lot of like unnecessary like numbers. And we make sure to really put Julian Day, because we use Julian Day. Remember, year, month, day, time. So Julian Day for restaurant ready time minus Julian Day for other time. And we have 24 here. That means we have 24 hours in the day, and then we have 60 minutes in the hour, and then we want only one number at the end of your decimal. That means you can have, for example, when you do this operation, you can have 2.5, for example, but you cannot have 2.5, 55. You don't need 55, you just need the 5. An example. So, and then after you have prep minute, we have everything, and then we close, and now let's run what's going on to see. Let's run this. It's exciting, and I hope we respect the time. Let's just do the running. Yep, we run it. Execution finished without error. That means here everything is good. We're good. The last step in the process is to actually view the transformation table we just created. We just created. Now step 5, view transformation table. Transform, I can call transform table. And how to view the transform table, you can do the same thing we did earlier. We can do really select all of the, I will consider all of the column with the axes, And then from what? It's from fact delivery performance, which is the name of the new transform table we created. We can just do this to make sure we don't spend too much time, which we already did. And then we go here, and then you just really paste that. And this is actually our last step in the process. And you just click OK. And here we have our beautiful table. This is the work we did. We go from raw data from the operational database with everything that is unstructured in the data lake, and from an unstructured data from data lake, we transform that data with ETL, with extract, transform, load pipeline, and we create that transform data into the data warehouse to be ready to either be reported or analyzed in the business intelligence perspective. This is the work we did today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned from that. And from here, I can stop, and I can stop my Willy record. And any question, please let me know. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time.